Most people get this moment wrong from the very beginning. You're either sitting in a car dealership staring at numbers on a screen, or lying in bed late at night scrolling through cars you believe you deserve. In your head, the justification starts immediately. The monthly payment doesn't seem that bad, everyone finances a car, and you work hard so you've earned it. On the surface, that logic feels reasonable. It sounds responsible, even mature. But here's the truth most people never hear. Car payments don't just cost you money, they quietly slow down your future. Not all at once, not in a dramatic way, but gradually and consistently, month after month. A decision that feels small today can hold you back for years without you ever noticing. This is how people with solid incomes stay financially stuck for decades, doing everything they think is right, yet never truly getting ahead. This isn't about whether you should drive a Honda or a BMW. It's not about liking nice cars or rewarding yourself for working hard. This is about a financial principle almost no one talks about, yet it quietly costs the average person hundreds of thousands of dollars over their lifetime. I call it the $5,000 car rule. Once you understand this rule, you'll never look at car buying the same way again. Most people believe they need a newer car to be reliable, that used cars are risky, and that warranties equal peace of mind. That belief didn't come from data. It came from marketing, family advice, and years of being told that newer is always better. What actually matters is how much of your money is trapped in something that loses value every single day. A car does not help you build wealth. It does the opposite. The more expensive it is, the more it silently works against you, pulling money away from investments, freedom, and long-term security. The $5,000 car rule is simple. Until you've built real wealth, never have more than $5,000 tied up in a vehicle. This doesn't mean driving a cheap car forever. It means understanding that in the wealth-building phase of your life, every dollar has a job, and wasting it on depreciation is one of the most expensive mistakes you can make. Let's talk about the numbers, because this is where the story becomes impossible to ignore. Right now, the average new car payment is well over $700 a month. Most of these loans stretch close to 6 years. That means you're committing to tens of thousands of dollars for something that starts losing value the moment you drive it off the lot. In the first year alone, a new car can lose around 30% of its value. By the time the loan is paid off, the car you worked so hard for is often worth a fraction of what you paid. This isn't bad luck or poor timing, it's how depreciation works, and it happens to everyone, regardless of brand or price. What makes this especially dangerous is how normal it feels. Because the payment fits your budget, it doesn't feel like a problem, but while that money is going toward a depreciating vehicle, it's not being invested. It's not compounding. It's not buying you time, freedom, or options. It's simply disappearing month after month. This is why car payments are so powerful at keeping people stuck. They don't cause immediate pain, but they quietly drain the very money that could have changed your financial future. Now let's compare two very real choices, because this is where the difference becomes crystal clear. Imagine you're 25 years old and deciding between two paths. Option A is the one most people take. You buy a newer car for $35,000, put some money down, and finance the rest over 6 years. Your monthly payment comes out to around $560. Over those 6 years, you end up paying more than $40,000 in total, and when the loan is finally gone, the car itself is worth maybe $12,000 if you're lucky. That missing money didn't vanish by accident. It was destroyed by depreciation. Option B looks less impressive on the surface. You buy a reliable used car for $5,000 in cash. You set aside some money for maintenance and repairs. Instead of sending $560 to a bank every month, you invest it. Even at a conservative return, that money grows steadily in the background. After 6 years, the difference is impossible to ignore. One person owns a depreciated car and has nothing to show for years of payments. The other owns a modest car and has built a real investment portfolio. Same income, same starting point, completely different outcomes. At this point, the math is already clear. So if the numbers make so much sense, why do most people still choose the expensive car? The answer has nothing to do with logic. It's psychological. We've been taught, often without realizing it, that our car says something about who we are. Cars become symbols of success, competence, and status. They send a message not just to strangers, but to friends, family, and coworkers. Driving something newer or more expensive feels like proof that we're doing well, that we're moving up in life. But here's the uncomfortable reality. Looking wealthy and being wealthy are two very different things. The person driving a $40,000 car might be under far more financial pressure than the person driving a $5,000 one. One is maintaining an image, the other is building a future. This is why so many people feel stuck even as their income rises. Every raise gets absorbed by a nicer lifestyle, a bigger payment, or a more impressive car. The money comes in, but it never stays long enough to grow. One of the most dangerous phrases in personal finance is, "I can afford the payment." And in a narrow sense, it's usually true. The payment fits the budget, the bank approves the loan, on paper, everything looks fine. But affordability is the wrong question. The right question is what that money could have become if you hadn't spent it on a car. This is where opportunity cost changes everything. Every dollar you send toward a car payment is a dollar that can't be invested, can't compound, and can't work for you in the background. Over a single year, the impact feels small. Over decades, it becomes massive. A few $100s a month, invested consistently, can grow into hundreds of thousands or even millions. The same money spent on a car leaves you with nothing but whatever the vehicle is worth at the end. This is why car payments are so expensive in ways most people never calculate. They don't just reduce your cash flow today, they steal from your future, quietly, 1 month at a time. To really understand the $5,000 car rule, you need to understand one core idea: the difference between assets and liabilities. This distinction alone can completely change how you make financial decisions. An asset puts money into your pocket. It generates income, grows in value, or creates long-term opportunity. Investments, businesses, and income-producing property fall into this category. A liability does the opposite. It takes money out of your pocket on a regular basis. A car, no matter how nice it is a liability. It requires payments, insurance, fuel, maintenance, registration, and repairs. It doesn't produce income, and it doesn't appreciate over time. In fact, it loses value the longer you own it. Once you see cars for what they really are, the decision becomes clearer. The goal isn't to avoid nice things forever. The goal is to stop confusing liabilities with progress. Building wealth means prioritizing assets first and limiting how much money you trap in things that only take from you. This is where the $5,000 car rule becomes practical. It's not just a concept, it's a strategy that works in real life, broken into 3 clear phases. Phase 1 is the foundation stage. This usually lasts 3 to 7 years. During this time, you buy a reliable used car for around $5,000 and pay cash. If you don't have the cash yet, saving for it becomes the priority. You avoid car loans completely and take the money that would have gone to a monthly payment and invest it instead. This is when you build the base of your financial future. Phase 2 is the upgrade stage. By now, you've built real wealth, your investments have grown, and your net worth is no longer fragile. At this point, you can upgrade to a nicer vehicle, often in the $15,000 to $20,000 range, still used and still paid for in cash. The difference now is that the car represents a much smaller percentage of your overall wealth. Phase 3 is true financial freedom. Your assets are working for you. Your investments generate income and provide options. At this stage, buying a more expensive car becomes a choice, not a burden. Interestingly, many people who reach this phase no longer feel the need to prove anything through what they drive. To see how powerful this really is, imagine 2 people starting at the exact same point, same age, same income, same opportunities. The only difference is how they think about cars. The first person follows the normal path. Every 6 to 8 years, they buy a newer car with a monthly payment. It feels manageable, so they never question it. They invest a little, live a comfortable life, and assume everything will work out in the long run. The second person follows the $5,000 car rule. They buy reliable used cars with cash and never have a car payment. Instead, they invest aggressively, not because they earn more, but because they keep more of what they earn. Fast forward 40 years, the first person has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on car payments and owns whatever car happens to be in their driveway at retirement. The second person has spent far less on vehicles, but has built a large investment portfolio that gives them options, flexibility, and time. Same income, same career, very different outcomes. The difference wasn't luck. It was one decision repeated consistently over time. Here's the question everything comes down to. Do you want to look wealthy today, or do you want to be wealthy later? Every major financial decision forces you to choose between these two paths, and cars are one of the earliest and most expensive examples. The excitement of a new car fades quickly. After a few weeks, it becomes just another way to get to work. But the benefits of investing compound over time. Each month, your money grows, your stress decreases, and your options expand. The $5,000 car rule isn't about deprivation, it's about timing. It's about delaying one kind of satisfaction so you can experience something far more valuable later: financial freedom, the ability to walk away from a job you hate, the ability to handle emergencies without panic, the ability to live on your terms. If you're currently making a car payment, run the numbers. Look at what that money could become if it were invested instead. And if you're planning to buy a car soon, at least consider a different approach. You don't have to take this idea on faith. Do the math yourself. If this perspective helped you think differently about money, consider subscribing for more mindset rules like this. Share your thoughts in the comments. Are you following the $5,000 car rule, or are you still team car payment? Thanks for listening. Now, go build real wealth.